right. So last time, as we left the group, they had just fought off a pack of werewolves and wolves that accompanied them, kind of upending the power structure of the werewolf den into which they had delved. Um, Best they could tell, what this would mean in the future is that the werewolves would no longer be in the service of Strahd. And so they've checked off one more potential enemy that they no longer have to deal with. Um, while they were in the werewolf den, they came across a young child, no more than 10 years old, who, well, while he was being kept there with uh, the other children that the werewolves had captured and, well, seemingly had some plans for. Um, it was revealed that this kid had been already turned into a werewolf after essentially proving his strength in a fight to the death with another batch of children that had been brought in with him. After some convincing, he was eventually persuaded to join the party and the rest of the kids as they all returned back to Kresk. More specifically, the Abbey of St. Markovia, where the abbot was waiting. Now, as they left, um, made their way through the woods and eventually back to the wagon, waiting horse, and saber-toothed tiger. The party had been traveling along the shores of the nearby lake and spotted a little pale object kind of bobbing in the water, slowly drifting toward them. A closer look revealed this to be seemingly a doll's head, kind of tilted off to one side and seemingly just staring at the party. And at the very end of last session, I believe it was Yoan who had waded out into the water
Yeah.
and stooped down to scoop this thing up. And so, as we kind of bring everything back, Yoan, you go to scoop this floating, bobbing doll's head out of the water. And you do so. You see it sitting in your palm, still just kind of staring back up at you. This strange, piercing gaze. And, yeah. What do you do?
Is there no doll? It's just the doll's head?
Yeah.
How big is it?
Probably, like 4 inches in diameter.
Like softball size?
Yeah, thereabouts.
Okay. Is there anything suspicious about it, or?
I mean, it's decidedly creepy and kind of ominous, but other than that, no, it just seems to stare up at you.
Okay, well, I will, I don't know, walk back to the shore and set it on the side of the shore and continue on my way.
So the party continues on, assuming nobody else wants to do anything. And eventually, you all make your way back to the old Sphalic Road. And as you do that, kind of maneuvering around the bridge and back to the path leading to Kresk. Let's see. Okay. I think you see a pair of ravens kind of take flight from one of the nearby branches and kind of fly off. But beyond that, seems like a pretty.
I would ask if I could recognize these ravens, but I feel like that's a silly question.
Yeah, I mean, you don't see any distinguishing features or anything. Yeah. So beyond that, though, I think the journey back to Kresk is a relatively uneventful one. By the time you return, it's probably a little bit after dusk, and yeah, you're inside the walls of Kresk, and well, I suppose you have a number of things to do. So, what would you like to attend to first?
Showing the abbot the children.
Everybody on board with that?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. Yeah. So you ascend the.
Or wait.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do that first.
Okay.
No.
You ascend the hillside, or arguably mountainside, on which the abbey sits. And after a brief exchange with Otto, you are allowed back in and shown to the Great Hall that you've now spent a fair deal of time in. And you're sitting there, seemingly lost in thought. You see the abbot at the long dinner table that takes up the majority of the space. And upon seeing the door open and the party comes strolling in with quite a few extra members in tow, he raises an eyebrow and looks to, well, any of the adventurers and says, "And who are these guests?"
These are children that were taken by the werewolf nest that's near here. And we've rescued them, and we need to find their parents if we can.
I see. Well, no, we do have a few extra bunks about, and given that the infirmary has been quite soundly cleaned out of late, I feel rather comfortable housing them there for the time being.
So, well, one of the children has special provisions that we'll need to talk about.
I see. Very well. And he sort of flags down Otto, who's been kind of standing in the corner as you've all filed in. Then he says, "Otto, please show the children up to the hospital wing and ensure that they are comfortable and have everything that they need for however long their stay here might be." with kind of a nod and a snort, Otto begins to gesture, kind of beckoning the kids to go up the stairs and, along that familiar path that you guys have traveled probably half a dozen times by now. And so as they finish filing out, he says, "But wait, am I correct in understanding one of you has certain needs that we should discuss before perhaps putting you to bed for the evening?" Of course, the one kid kind of turns around and nods, his eyes kind of distant. And the abbot sort of looks at that one and beckons him over, and also sort of gestures for the rest of the group to maybe close in a bit so they can have a discussion.
Yeah.
Yep. I'll walk over.
Okay. And kind of leaning in toward Yoan especially, as he's the one who introduced all of this subject matter. He says, "So, what is it specifically that needs to be discussed?"
Well, this one has already been turned, and would it be possible to turn him back? But also, before they turned him, they made him do some very atrocious acts, and he doesn't trust himself, so he doesn't want to go back to his previous life. And then I nudge him and I'm like, can you show the abbot your doll?
All right. The little boy walks up and, still very kind of defensive about it, shows the doll as much as he can while still kind of keeping it held close to his chest. For those who weren't here to hear the description last time, what you see is kind of a pale greenish looking doll clad in tattered black robes, and along the exposed bits of where the skin would be, you see a number of black lines tracing out a pattern not so different from that of, well, a series of veins.
Gas.
The abbot sort of squints at the doll and kind of gives a knowing look up toward Yoan. This is peculiar, to say the least. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes. I thought you might be able to help with these situations.
Oh, first things first. He reaches out a hand to the kid, who's kind of hesitant given the recent history, but after recoiling, he kind of looks
I
back
tell him it's okay.
Yeah, he looks at all of you, and after getting a little bit of encouragement, he allows the hand to kind of rest on his shoulder. You see the abbot close his eyes for just a few seconds, and this slow pulse of yellowish golden light kind of emanates and washes over the child's body. And the abbot opens his eyes and says, "You are no longer one of them." And the kid seems a bit still hesitant, kind of doubtful of the ability to just touch somebody and cure the curse of lycanthropy, but um, yeah, I think he's at least somewhat at ease here.
I tell him that he's very powerful.
um, all right, and yeah, he just sort of stands there. Maybe takes a step back, getting kind of closer to Yoan if possible. And I think at that point the abbot turns to the rest of you and says, "Have you any idea what the doll might mean or signify?"
I turn towards Ron. Ron,
Hmm?
Melkar is closer to you. Did he mention anything about where he got his black veins from?
Did he? This is me asking the DM. I don't know that he ever.
Well, I mean, he did mention and actually kind of describe to you the idea of um, communing with some kind of greater power.
Oh yeah, didn't he tell me to talk to the Finger of Oblivion? Or try
Yeah.
to?
What'd you say, bro?
I was just saying, yeah, I've done that to
Yeah.
at least Ron.
Okay, so I'll say, well, he tried to get me to talk to the Finger of Oblivion at one point. I don't know who that was, but they didn't answer. So
The abbot kind of narrows his eyes again and says, "One moment," as he stands up and you see him head over to a large um, chest of drawers kind of thing situated off to one side of the hall. He opens a drawer and from it produces a case. And fumbling at his side, you see him produce this massive key ring. Um, Flipping through key after key, he finally comes to the one that he's looking for. And as he unlocks the case with kind of a grating, screeching click sound, um, it opens up, and inside you can see this kind of shuffled mass of partial bits of parchment paper. Um, he kind of begins pawing through them, uh, like setting the case itself on a nearby tabletop. And after a few seconds, he turns and looks to you all and says, "I thought that sounded familiar. If I'm not mistaken, that's one of the ancient evils locked away in the Amber Temple."
oh,
So that's probably why Melkar was so excited to go there.
Well, do you think he's now like the leader down there or something?
It's hard to say. I don't have any means of scrying on him or discerning his location. So, unless he is maintaining communication with you and well, informing you himself, I'm afraid it's hard to say without encountering him once again.
I don't have any spells left, otherwise I would try to talk to him. But
Well, it seems his influence is still is growing out here, even if he's locked away.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, you guys lost him in town, didn't you?
We lost Malkar in town. Yeah.
Well, and he told me he was a pretty long way away when I asked him if he wanted to help us. So I don't know where he is.
Well, that's a bit disconcerting.
My guess is he probably just stole some clothes and then took off towards the Amber Temple.
Yeah.
Because that would be what I would do, but I don't really want to make you guys mad, so. I mean, it sure beats doing all this work for it.
Yeah, well, we can check in town if someone saw him steal some clothes.
Alright, or. Well, we'll do that tomorrow.
Yeah. We should probably. How late in the day is it, Eric?
It's like after dusk, so
Okay.
pretty late.
Yeah, we can go see them first thing in the morning and get prepared to head off to the Amber Temple ourselves.
Didn't either you or Dane get bit as well?
Oh,
I don't think I got bit this time.
I thought one of you
Rictavio
two-
did.
Rictavio did.
yeah.
Okay, I knew somebody did. Is Rictavio still with us? Like, is he just chilling?
Yeah, he's with the group.
Oh, well then I'll say, Rictavio, maybe the abbot can help you too.
Yeah, and he says, I was intending to ask, but by my judgment, it was best to let you finish one matter of business before moving on to the next. And
Well,
yeah, I think the abbot probably just at that point walks over and almost like not quite, but almost flippantly just kind of taps him on the shoulder, and you see that poof, and there's that same effect of the curse just being dispelled.
well, um, should we put this child to bed now?
Sure.
That was more directed towards the abbot.
Oh.
I mean, just for Eric's sake, you can still say sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ron just says sure and starts walking off.
All right, yeah, and the abbot is fine with that and says, "Well, Ron, if you're taking a walk, would you care to show our friend to the hospital wing?"
Oh yeah, sure, I can. Not a problem.
All right. And yeah, so you show the kid up there. By that time, all the others are settled in and at least trying to get some semblance of a good night's sleep.
I will, as I'm walking with him, I'll pull out a kazoo and just start playing a kind of a funny, upbeat song on a kazoo.
The kid does not seem to be entirely amused by it.
No.
He just kind of walks and follows you wherever you're going.
Okay. Well, still, that's how I do it.
Okay.
Ron trying to be the Pied Piper.
Basically.
And this kid's over here just like, no.
It's the bartender's son.
No. Yeah, I want to discuss with while I'm there, the abbot, Octavio, and Esmeralda and Dane, saying, well, tomorrow we should head out to the Amber Temple, in case Milkar's there. So probably first thing, get our equipment in town, try and find any parents or such of the missing children that we found, and direct them here. And then head out. Does that sound like a good plan?
Sounds good.
Right. And Esmeralda and Octavio seem pretty much on board with it.
Okay. And the abbot's fine with me directing people up here.
Yeah.
Cool, cool.
Okay. So, anything else to accomplish before you guys establish some kind of rest here?
I don't have anything.
Can I Arcana check the skull that she found? Or not the skull, but like the doll head.
I left it on the shore.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay, never
Yeah.
mind.
Mm-hmm.
I must have missed that. I will not Arcana check that. I will pop my bubble and go to bed.
Okay. No one else has anything they'd like to do.
I mean, I'm assuming we're probably repeat the same sleeping arrangements, so.
Yeah. So, alright. Yeah. Nice, comfortable rest, at least, compared to sleeping out in the woods and some of the other stuff you've done. So you all wake up the next day. And what do you do?
Do we benefit from a long rest?
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
No.
You made it sound.
No.
You made it sound like we didn't. So.
I mean, I wanna do this fairly quick, because I wanna get, if Malkar's out there getting up into all kinds of evil mischief, I wanna get there as soon as I can. So.
Is Strasny still with us? Or did he sneak off?
Well, you didn't see him when you arrived back. I mean, I suppose you could inquire about him.
Yeah, I will. I'll say, hey, where's Isak Strasny? Do you know? To the abbot.
Yeah. He says, well, he seemed to be feeling considerably better yesterday, and, well, as he was walking about under his own power, he, seemed to go out for a walk through the gates. I've not seen him since then.
Okay. Well,
I could cast Locate Creature.
Look for Ezeks.
Yeah. If you think something's happened.
I'll cast Sending to Isak, and I'll just say, "Are you captured again? If so, where are you? And we'll come help." From Ron.
Okay, it takes a moment, but you do get a response saying, "I was not captured. I am in Kresk."
Okay.
I will relay that to Yoan and Dane and everybody.
Okay. So we're all good.
Okay. Well, I mean, Malkar's probably dead, but
Okay. March down to Kresk.
yep.
Okay, you march down to Kresk.
We didn't see Danica, did we?
You did not.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm gonna go to the guy where we talked about clearing out the werewolves.
Mhm.
And tell him that, say like, hey, we've cleared out those werewolves, and there's a bunch of kids up at the Abbey that they were holding, waiting to turn into werewolves, but they're all fine. They just need their parents or family.
Right. Yeah. The grizzled old man working there says, "This is good to hear."
Oh,
And
by the way, there are werewolves there. They're just not going to attack humans. We've made a pact with them that they won't harm you. So don't panic unless you go after them. If something happens, just you can send word to us and we will finish clearing them out. But their numbers are greatly reduced. There was a change in power.
okay. Yeah. Again, this guy seems a bit questioning of the whole making deals with werewolves thing, but he sort of reluctantly says, "Well, if you say it is handled, then we will assume so until given reason to think otherwise." And kind of leaning back and telling a couple other people behind the counter something. He says, "Hmm, hold on just one moment. I know we had discussed some compensation for your services. I will be getting that assembled momentarily."
Okay. I do have a question. If anyone you know saw this, I described Melker basically.
It's really pasty white guy, black robes, black veins.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Saw
Um,
him yesterday, or are missing supplies.
um, all right. Well, immediately he can answer you. We are not missing any supplies. We take an inventory every night, and nothing has gone missing. As for your friend, I know I have not seen him. Sounds like an interesting fellow. Um, I could inquire with the rest of the workers here.
I'd appreciate that.
How about a big guy with a big red arm? And I describe Strasny.
Says, I do think I've seen that one. I believe he likes his drink. Found him leaning against the wall last evening. He didn't look to be in his right mind, but Given the appearance, he seemed harmless enough in that state.
He's had a stressful day.
A little bit.
Understandable.
So
And,
which way's the bar?
well, as you're asking that, first, a couple of clerks kind of come out from the back with enough winter clothing to outfit the group. Point of interest: had you guys asked for a set for Melkar, or no?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, they come out and present you with let's see, 4 for the party, and then what, Octavio, Esmeralda. I mean, you probably would have prepped for Ezek as well, so 7, and other kind of fittings for, the animals that you'll be bringing with you. Yeah, and so you're presented with all of that, and the man that you've been speaking to this whole time then kind of bends down and reaches behind the counter, produces a modest-sized coin purse, and kind of puts it on top of one of the stacks of folded clothing. And he says, "My thanks once again. Um, it's not much, but is what we can afford. And rest assured, if you have any needs here while you are in Kresk, simply come to me, and I will do everything I can to accommodate you."
Thank you. And yeah, we just ask that you get the kids that want to return home back to their parents.
Of course.
At this point, Ron has already walked out, and all I did was pull like a set of earmuffs or a hat or something and put that on, and I walked out. And I walk out and I turn left and start walking. I'm looking for the bar.
I grab the Ron's winter clothes and Melkar's winter clothes and put them in my pack.
And Strasny's.
I let Dane grab Strasny's because I can only hold. I mean, I need to hold mine too.
Yeah, I'll carry that one.
Okay.
I can only hold so many clothes at once.
So
Alright.
I'm just walking around casting message randomly towards Strasny. I don't know where he is, but I'm just like looking around and casting it.
Okay. Well, try as you might, you probably don't connect that way. But eventually you do, you find something of like an open area. And seated there on 3 tree stumps, you see Strosny, as well as 2 other familiar faces. Also people that you've run into in the past in the town of Valaki.
Who is it?
Uh, does Ron pay enough attention to know this, I wonder?
You know what? What do you want me to roll? Wisdom?
Make a history check.
History. Oh, it's not that bad.
Alright, you remember these are the wolf hunters.
Oh, yeah, those guys.
Yeah, you can't remember their names, but you remember them.
Yeah. I know that you can pay 5 gold and they'll work for you for a day.
There you go.
That's about it.
But yeah, so kind of seated around the 3 stumps here, you see the 3 of them. All of them pretty frequently sipping from flasks that they've somehow acquired. And I don't think any of them really seem to take notice of you as you approach.
I'll just keep approaching them until they do.
Okay. Well, given that you would have recognized Strosny, you probably have one of the wolf hunters with his back to you, and the other kind of looking in your direction. And so eventually, Strosny's probably the first one to take notice.
If I get within range and he still doesn't notice me, I'm gonna message him and say, "Oh, Isaac, there you are."
Okay. So there's this moment where this big, like, burly, bald dude with a demon arm kind of stops drinking pretty quickly and, like, looks around, almost like kind of trying to non-verbally say to the other two, "Did you hear that?" And as he looks over the shoulder of one of them, he then kind of sees Ron there.
And I'm doing a stupid wave.
And there's kind of this, I guess, sort of slack-jawed look of recognition, as it would seem Isaac has been drinking through the night.
I'm assuming I can follow Ron pretty easily after grabbing all the stuff.
Probably.
So I'll run over and say, "Oh, hey, what are you guys drinking?"
Let's see. So one of the wolf hunters, he says, "Do I know you?"
Yeah. Wait, you hunt wolves, right?
He says, "Yes, that is us."
Hey, we just went on a wolf hunting thing. How many of you ever killed at once?
He thinks for a moment and says, "Probably something like 2 dozen."
At
And
once?
his companion says, 2 dozen.
At once?
Yes, at once. At once.
Damn.
Yoan snickered at that comment.
Well, I just got my first dozen. Using a new spell I picked up. These were actual werewolves, though. These weren't just regular wolves.
And the one that's been doing the majority of the talking says, "Yes, we've fought some of those in our time, too. Those are the ones who end up with their heads on the pikes outside the Balaki."
Yes, but did you take out 12 all at once?
Hard to say. We do a bit of drinking when we go on the hunt.
Alright. Well, I look over at Strauss and say, your winter clothing is coming. I kind of gesture behind me. They've got yours, mine. No, they got a bunch of them.
Cue the two responsible members of the party walking up behind you and carrying shit.
Yep.
What he means to say is that we're planning on heading up to the Amber Temple now that we have our supplies, and he's wondering if he would like to go with us. We have enough supplies for you too.
He says, "What do you expect me to do there?"
You're kind of a badass.
And
I don't know, the more badasses that are on our side, the better. I mean, you know, that was the whole reason for wanting to meet up with you. I figured if we met up then and worked together, then we'd have a better chance at getting something done.
Does Strahd live at this Amber Temple? Has he moved recently?
No.
Then why would I go there?
Well, it's supposedly where a bunch of, like, powerful things are, so...
We're looking for magically imbued items to help us with our fight with Strahd.
Yeah.
I think I have all the magic I need. Kind of does the Bungdo signature move where he just sort of holds a little fireball in his hand.
Speaking of which, how did you get that? I kind of want one.
He says, I am not sure. I woke up in the woods of Barovia one day and it was as it is. I do not remember anything from beforehand. So this is how I have been for as long as I can remember.
Um,
How long is that?
He thinks, 15, 20 years?
How old does he look?
Um, Probably in his 30s.
Okay.
Can I... I'll walk up to him and I'll say, do you mind if I cast a spell to see maybe if I can figure out what it is?
He kind of shrugs and holds out this red spined hand that he has.
Oh, you don't even have to hold it out too much. Give me a second here and I'll sit down next to him and I will ritualistically cast Identify.
Okay.
Do
Hmm?
you have the pearl?
I should.
You gave it to me, remember?
Oh yeah, you're right. I can't. I can't. Then never mind.
Just see Ron patting his pockets and he's like,
Yep.
wait, I don't have a pearl.
Son of a bitch.
Yep. Damn. Well.
Rain check?
Huh?
Rain check?
Yeah.
As you're like patting down your pockets, looking for the pearl, I think Ezek probably kind of wobbles a bit on his seat and says, "This is strange magic."
You know, I seem to have misplaced the pearl I need.
Right. This is why I do not put my trust in magic. You lose something, you're powerless.
I still have some power. I just, I can't use that spell. I mean, I could cure you. I could disappear. I could turn you into a bird again.
What are the looks on the wolf hunter's faces when he mentions that he turned him into a bird?
I think the quieter of the two is kind of just shooting Ron this look like, what the fuck? Like the other one's totally poker face, but like the quiet one's like, huh?
I mean,
Like, Jay and Silent Bob.
Kind of.
it's like a grungy version of Jay and Silent Bob.
Okay. So. So if you think you're good, then we can head off by ourselves.
Yeah, he says, I would gladly help you against Strahd, but I see no reason to walk into whatever is at this Amber Temple. Seems like a waste of time and life to me.
Eh? I don't know. You might find another arm to match that one.
And lose my memory in the process?
Nah, that.
I don't know that would be good for either of us.
Well, but Malkar, the other guy that was with us, he got all those black veins and stuff, and he didn't lose his memory. Maybe yours was just like a freak accident.
He takes another sip from the flask.
Yep. I will pull out a joint and light it and pass it as well.
Yowen just has like the most like exasperated face towards Ron.
I look back to Yoan and I will cast message and say, I'd feel much safer if he was with us.
Can I respond to a message?
Yep.
You can respond to this message.
Yes.
Like that. I'm not upset about that.
About what?
What?
Yeah.
Bringing him with us?
Oh, you're not upset about it?
No.
Okay, cool. So anyway, back to my inebriating him.
He's already pretty inebriated.
I know, but trying to seal the deal. Hey, Ron's had some dark past.
Yeah, you try and you like pass him the joint, and he looks at you like, I don't think I need any more.
You sure? It's some good stuff.
He's like visibly rocking in his seat. Eyes are kind of glassy, and he says, "No, I think I need to sleep it off."
Seeing this, I think so too.
Alright. Well, we tried. So let's go return his outfit.
I think I'll hold on to it for now. I have
Oh.
the space.
I want to steal his scarf because it's noticeably larger.
I
More.
let Ron take his scarf.
More
enough.
ostentatious.
Yeah, I thought I had the stuff. His stuff.
Yeah, you have his stuff. I have, I guess you can see if you want Ron to steal it or not.
Yeah, you can have it.
Cool.
He just wanted you to know. Hey,
Yeah.
I have stuff. I'm in control of this situation.
You can
Oh,
do what
it's
you
important.
want. Yeah, it is. For story aspect. So.
And I take out the rest of Ron's stuff and I'd be like, you should probably put this on because it's gonna be cold. Put this on.
Okay. So,
Okay.
I'll put it on.
Okay, and everyone ready to go?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm
And
gonna cast
Dane-
press. Oh, go ahead.
Dane, if you want me to take Strahd's armor and put it in my bag, I can.
No, I'll put it on my suit of armor.
Okay.
You can carry it around. Keep
Your
it
suit
warm.
of armor is suddenly not as cold as it was. Okay. Now you can cast
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna cast prestidigitation and make essentially a tie-dye swirl right in the middle of this jacket.
Of course you are.
Because, yes.
Okay.
So.
Anything else you guys want to do while you're here?
have enough. Well, we should have enough food and water, so yeah, let's go.
Okay. All right. So you kind of pack your stuff up and prepare yourselves for a long journey through the Selenka Pass. Eventually, hoping to
I'm
reach.
assuming, do we have the cart? The tiger?
Yeah, I mean, unless you want to leave
Okay.
it, I assume you
Yeah.
bring it with you, unless you say otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah. Just wanted
Okay.
to make sure we're on the same page.
Yep. Um. Okay. So yeah, as you're kind of preparing and eventually making your way back down to the old Sphalic Road, um, probably not much more than 10 minutes or so after you've begun your journey here. Um, what are all the present party members' passive perceptions? That's a lot of P's.
14.
11.
9.
All right, I think the 14 is enough.
Okay. Ooh.
So, yeah, Yoan, off in the distance, you see a large black shape flying through the air. Um, seemingly across your field of view, but then it seems to turn and almost follow the road that you're on for some time before disappearing over the tops of the trees.
Can I make out anything about it?
Make a perception check as you're kind of trying to focus in on it. And all right.
What about a 17?
I mean, it looks an awful lot like that flying horse that you guys sniped Renan off of.
How far away is it?
When it first comes into view, it's probably 150, 200 feet away, but then as it continues to travel, it obviously is moving at a much faster pace than you guys. And yeah, so it doesn't take too long before it's out of sight.
I point it out to Ron and Dane and Rictavio and Esmeralda. But most importantly to Ron.
Okay.
Oh. Isn't that the... That was the horse, right?
That's what it looked like.
Hmm.
I'm assuming it also looked like the horse that bore Ron away.
Yeah.
Looks like, Strahd's horse.
Huh. Wonder where it's going.
Yeah.
I mean, I could ask him.
The horse?
Strahd.
No. Probably shouldn't.
Oh. Okay.
Just say no.
Yeah, just hey, friendly question. What's up with your horse?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
No? Okay.
No.
Alright.
Should I
Okay.
maybe message Malkar?
I guess you could. Ask him where he's at.
I will cast sending to Malkar and say, hey Malkar, have you sold your soul fully yet? Are you at the... Where the fuck are we going? The
Amber Temple.
Amber Temple. Thank you. Are you at the Amber Temple? Don't make me waste another sending spell.
Just for that last comment, he doesn't answer.
Please hold.
Yeah.
Taylor,
Yeah.
when do you think you'll have time to help me with my computer?
I'm not sure. It all depends on what's going on next week, because supposedly we're supposed to be done with our job next week.
Okay. I mean, I still haven't got my power supply yet.
Oh, yeah, whatever. Hey, I got my bike today.
Woo!
So I actually got to start it up and ride it around. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's finally actually warm.
Hi, Taylor, can you repeat what you said?
I just said, hey, have you sold your soul fully yet? Um, are you at the Ember Temple? And then I said, don't make me have to use another sending spell.
Alright, I will respond. Never sold my soul. Not at Ember Temple. Headed towards a swamp.
Headed toward a swamp. Alright, I will relay the message back and say, where the fuck is the swamp?
Let's see. Let's ask the people who've actually spent more time here than you.
Yeah, that was the goal.
All right. Esmeralda is fairly confident when she says, "The only swamp I know about is down the Luna River from Vallaki. It's uh, an old area covered in the ruins of an old village."
Why is he going there?
I, I don't know. He is not going to the Amber Temple though, so that's a plus.
I'm extra suspicious now of his motives.
Well, should we go rescue him or not?
How far away is that?
Let me get you guys to the world map here. The plane map? So,
Wait,
um,
wait for it. Wait. I need to
wait,
zoom out.
wait, 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 wait. Can I not wait?
Okay.
Wait. No, I'm kidding.
All right. So obviously, you guys just left Kresk, which is kind of up there in the northwestern part of Barovia.
Yeah.
So let me move this in a way that makes sense. Okay. So, you were originally going to branch off from the old Svala there and follow a path that would basically lead you down there to the Amber Temple. Perez, which is the name of this old shambles of a village, is there. So you basically just head toward Vallaki and then follow the river to the south.
I mean, that's kind of on the way to the Amber Temple.
The thing to bear in mind is you're essentially putting yourselves in a river valley.
Mm-hmm.
Um, So getting back up the mountains that would be surrounding you on, well, to the northwest and then to the southeast would kind of be a challenge from there.
Mm-hmm. Mm. I turn towards Ron. If you don't need your winter clothes all the time, you don't have to wear them all the time. Just when you get cold, don't forget to put them on.
Oh, well, they're already on, so I'll just leave them on.
Okay. How long will it take to get to the swamp?
That is a good question.
That's why I asked.
And you said the swamp was where? Sorry. Okay.
There.
Gotcha.
Okay. Let me distance for a minute.
1, 2, 3. Caleb, counting. Just.
You'd be looking at probably 2 to 3 hours, given that part of that journey is over a kind of long, disused path.
So if we went, hmm, I turn towards Dane and I ask him what he thinks.
So we're just trying to get to the swamp.
If
Or-
we should head straight towards the Amber Temple or go to the swamp that Elgar seems to be going to.
Well, could we take the wagon down the main road and then just fly to the swamp on the? We take the wagon on the road towards the Ember Temple and then fly to the swamp. If we wanted to.
Yeah. I mean, we can probably split the party some and leave part of us with the cart and part of us go see Melkar.
That would work. That area isn't very traveled, though, is it? The cart would probably be safe.
Can you repeat what you said?
Oh, that place probably isn't traveled that much.
I
So,
mean, keep the cart to the Amber Temple. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, like Rictavio and Esmeralda survived on their own for quite a bit. I
Yeah.
trust them too.
Yeah, we could just let them do that, yeah.
Okay, so the full plan then is take the wagon down the road to the point where you'd kind of veer off to follow the river.
No. Send the wagon on its way to the Ember Temple and
Oh, okay. I see.
have a couple of us go to the swamp.
I see. Okay. All right.
Or a few of us. Like me, Dane, and Ron can. Well, me and Ron can go into birds and fly over to see Melkar, and Rictavio and Esmeralda can ride the wagon.
Okay.
So wait, couldn't you use a thing to summon 3 birds?
Oh, I could do that. Too.
Saves me my highest level spell.
What level are giant eagles?
Huh? Oh,
What level are giant eagles? They're level 1.
I don't know.
A challenge rating 1. Okay. So I can summon 2 of them. And I guess turn into one myself.
And then you get all that back at a short rest, right?
No. I get, what is it, like,
That's whatever.
I get a certain amount back. I'd have to look for it. Here it is. Yeah,
I guess Dana and I
will
could
get
share.
4 slots equal to 4 back after a short rest. I mean, it's okay. I can conjure up 2 giant eagles and be one myself. So, I guess I will do that.
Okay.
Poof, giant eagles.
Poof, giant eagles. Okay.
And I will tell the giant eagles to let them on their back and to follow me after I get good directions on how to get to the swamp. I shall fly to the swamp. While
Okay.
Esmeralda and Rictalvio do their thing.
Okay. So, yeah, if that is the plan, then we can go ahead and make that happen. All right. So, with Esmeralda's directions, you're able to get a pretty good idea of where this place is. And let's see, it would probably take you, say, just over an hour to get there. You know, traveling straight line as birds are wont to do.
Mm-hmm.
Let me do something real quick. Okay. So, yeah, you all are borne up into the air and you fly over the winding roads and forests of Barovia, um, passing near the summit of one of the lesser mountains.
You're cutting out,
Okay.
and I think Laura died.
Yeah, I think Laura might have. All right. So, I guess I'll just wheel it back a second. So you take off over the turning paths and roads of Barovia, over the woods, and alongside one of the lesser mountains that makes up part of the border of the Solenka Pass. Off to your left, as you're flying, you can see the beacon of Argynvostholt, still standing, unlit, but kind of proud in the skyline of Barovia. As you pass by the bulk of this mountain to your right, you can see beyond it to the low-lying swamplands that rest along the banks of the Luna River. You can see a number of kind of fragmented tributaries branching out in all sorts of crazy directions. And let me see what else you'd be able to pick out from this vantage point. Because believe it or not, flying in is probably not how they expected you to arrive here.
Sucks to be. Oh no,
Oh.
you said they. Is it a trap? It's a trap!
No, I kind of meant like wizards. Um,
Oh,
that doesn't help.
oh
Wizards of the
okay.
Coast.
I knew what you meant when you said
Damn
wizards.
wizards waiting in ambush. Okay. So from above, you can see alongside the banks of this river, kind of the very small, condensed little village. Probably not much more than like 3 to 4 little clusters of buildings. A number of kind of falling down, crumbling cottages right up against the shore. A sizable mansion kind of to the south. What else? Kind of situated in the middle of it, you can see what looks like a small, ramshackle little wooden hut.
You're cutting out pretty bad.
Am I cutting out for everybody?
No.
Nope, it was good for me.
Yeah,
Is it just for me?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I know you're cutting out because I can hear you talking more, though.
I mean, I think they might know if I was cutting out and like fragmenting everything I said, though. Anyway. Oh, are you gonna say something?
No.
Okay. Yeah, so in the middle you see this this little ramshackle hut that seems to have been built on like a large tree stump. What else? You see what looks like an almost entirely crumbled church, complete with a churchyard out back. Grave plots and memorials and all sorts of things to that effect. And then kind of to the north, farthest away from the riverbank, looks like another small cluster of cottages.
Okay. Don't see any sign of Malphar.
No, you don't just see him like wandering about or anything.
Can I guess, fly over the swamp? And I'll instruct one of my birds to set Dane down in the village so that hopefully he understands I want him to ask around on where if they see Malphar.
I'm riding Yoan.
You're
Isn't
not
this in the-
riding, Yoan.
Oh.
Tell him.
Isn't this an abandoned village, or was there people there here?
Well, I guess the closer you get to
No, I
ground
thought
level.
we saw people. Never mind, I'm crazy.
No, you didn't see people.
Okay. Don't mind me then.
Well, I mean, do you still want to descend if you now know that there aren't people, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I figure that could be kind of an instrumental thing in your decision-making process.
Yeah.
All right.
Just set me and my armor off in the middle of town. Great.
My eagle's
um,
staying there. I tell my eagle to listen to you.
I think I'm riding Yoan.
You would think that.
Yep, Ron thinks he's riding Yoan, but he's really not.
Okay. All right. So yeah, the bird swoops down, lets Dane and his armor, if you'd like the armor to accompany you, off at ground level, and let's see. I think I can actually show you a little bit of a map here, and let you determine what you want to go and poke around in.
And I'm not really going out of like bird sight of you. I'm just whirling around looking to see if I can find the Malkar.
Okay.
I'm blind.
It's all black.
Oh, everybody's blind? Fantastic. Okay. Well, in that case, let me change a setting on that. How about now?
Oh, there's something.
Okay. So, you've got 2 clusters of cottages here and here. You've got an old church there. You've got a mansion there. And you've got a hut built on a tree stump about there.
I want to start walking over to the hut.
Okay. And you are, I mean, how close would you like to get to the hut?
A couple yards away.
Okay. Yeah, so, you walk up, you see this hut kind of built on top of this enormous tree stump.
Oh, doesn't my, I'm not an eagle anymore. If it took an hour to get there. How long does my wild shape last? Doesn't it?
I think it might be longer than an hour.
I think like 2.
Yeah.
Melkar says from the nearest hut.
You're totally still a bird.
Well, I'm a bird. But, my birds aren't birds anymore. So I guess I'll
Okay.
set both Dane, his armor, and Ron down, and I will continue flying around.
Yeah, we'll say for the sake of convenience, you just barely made it within an hour.
Okay.
And yeah, so I guess everyone except Yoan is now down on the ground. So Ron, what are you doing as you're down here now?
What place looks most interesting?
I have 4 hours, so.
Okay. Well,
What is this thing?
that is where you see the hut on the tree stump.
I'm inspecting that.
Okay, so you're going with Dane. So yeah, let me give you some of this juicy box text action I got here. Someone has built a ramshackle wooden hut on the stump of what was once an enormous tree. The rotting roots of the stump thrust up from the mire like the legs of a gigantic spider. An open doorway is visible on one side of the hut, beneath which floats the upside-down, hollowed-out skull of a giant. Flanking the hut's doorway are 2 iron cages that dangle like hideous ornaments from the eaves. Scores of ravens are trapped in each one. And as you approach, they begin to squawk and flutter excitedly.
Any other reaction other than them squawking?
Well, doesn't seem like it.
I'll say, hey, are you birds or are you people? If you're people, quiet down.
Um, let's see. Yeah, I mean, I think they just keep fluttering and squawking and just generally being really fucking noisy.
Are they in like a cage or are they trapped or?
There are like two cages hanging from the eaves of this cottage, with a, like an excessive number of ravens crammed into each one.
Is there a door?
Like to the cages
Yeah,
or to the hut?
the cages.
Yeah, they both seem to have doors. Yeah.
I'm gonna go up to one and open it.
Okay. So yeah, as you get closer and closer and closer, the ravens keep flapping and squawking, and you notice they don't actually like begin to peck at you or anything as you reach toward the cage. Um, they're just kind of going crazy in there amongst themselves. Let's see. So how are you going to try and open this?
Um, what
Because
kind
it
of a
is
door is it?
locked.
Uh, hmm. That's a good question. I'm gonna look back and say, anybody able to unlock this?
Well, I certainly can't. I don't have any magical stuff. Unless you want me to smash it.
I look back towards Rictavio and Esmeralda. Either of you two got anything?
They're not there.
They're not with us.
Oh, that's right.
Mhm.
Ron realizes that as he's asking it. Well, Yoan, how about you? Do you know how to open this?
I'm a bird and in the sky, so I'm also not there.
Ron is just seeing people. How about you, Malkar? Oh, Malkar's not there either.
Melkar
Open it
answers.
with your hands.
What kind of a lock is it like a easy lock or is it just a?
So here's the thing. You look at it and you like pull on it and kind of examining the latch. It doesn't actually seem to have a lock built into it, and yet here it is locked.
Can I Arcana check it?
Sure. Okay. Yeah, so, having spent some time with bards on the road, maybe occasionally being in possession of some things that people might not want found, you would recognize this kind of thing as probably being affected by an arcane lock spell.
Oh.
Generally speaking, things that are locked this way, they can be forced, but it's usually pretty difficult. Alternatively, if somebody knows a knock spell, that would immediately at least offset the effect for a time.
Do I see any sign of Melkar up in the air in this general area?
Make a perception check.
How far away is Yoan from me?
I'm not too far.
Yeah,
Within
always
100
in sight, I believe, was the comment.
Within 120 feet.
Probably not. I'm
Okay.
probably higher.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so looking around, you don't see any signs of life. There are maybe a few things that momentarily make you think you might have found somebody, but it turns out that they are, in fact, just scarecrows set up around the perimeter of the village.
Oh. Well, if I don't find anything, I'm definitely going to land by them and turn back to Yowen and tell them about the scarecrows.
What? Okay. How many?
How many, Eric?
Probably like 6 to 8 of them.
That's too many. Help me
Well,
get
we
this.
can always just take to the air.
Help me get this lock open and let these birds out.
How's it
It's-
locked?
It's locked magically.
Okay. Can I cast, this? On it?
Probably. Let me verify. Okay. Yeah. So you do that, and this one of the two cages hanging here from the eaves of the hut just swings open, and the ravens come flying out in this like flurry of feathers and beaks, and after flying around for like a couple seconds, just being kind of disoriented, they scatter and just fly off in various different directions.
As they're flying out, I'll say, "Oh, if any of you are human, no, Danica, go to the abbey."
Okay. You finish saying that as like the last one kind of disappears over the
Yep.
tops of the buildings. You just hear, ah, ah.
Good enough.
Yeah.
I can only do that once, though.
Yeah, for the other one, do we want to just try to see if we can break it?
Sure.
You're stronger. I'm gonna just stand out of the way for this one.
Dane?
I can help you.
Okay.
Yes,
So do
me
you
and
want to
Dane
make?
together, or...
All right. So whose stat are we going to use for this? Because whoever rolls with advantage.
Do you want to?
What stat are we using? Strength? I have +7.
How do you +7?
He's really fucking
Oh, sorry,
strong.
that's the wrong one.
You're looking at athletics.
Yeah.
Are we
I
just...
was looking at saving throws.
Gotcha.
I have 4.
Okay. Are we doing just straight strength, Eric?
Yes.
Okay, because I also have 4, so it does
Okay.
not matter to me.
Okay. Well, somebody roll and
You
do
can
it
do
with
it.
advantage.
Okay.
Pull at the same time.
There you go.
All right. Yeah. So Yoan yeah, it is Yoan. Okay.
Yeah.
Yoan grabs a hold of this cage, and you can see like as his muscles are just like straining, and the bars are like beginning to give, but you're not able to move them enough to free the birds.
Oh no. Run. I'm not strong enough.
What?
I'm not strong enough.
I really don't have anything. Can I inspire? Wait, who did it? Yoan did it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I inspire Dane to try to give it a shot?
Well, he tried by assisting.
Yeah. Can he inspire me after the fact? Well, can he inspire me while I'm straining?
I think you're supposed to do it before you know the result of the roll.
You are, but
So,
Pish posh.
yeah. So, no, the birds are still caged.
Poor
I'm gonna
birds.
Eldritch Blast the bar where she was, or where he was pulling, where Johan was pulling.
Okay. You blast it and kind of undo some of the progress that Yoan had made.
No,
Can my magical suit of armor give it a try?
Yeah,
can I inspire the magical suit of armor?
sure. So go ahead and roll your inspiration die.
All right. It is, I believe, a D8.
All right, and then let's get a strength check for that armor, shall we? Let's see. Oh, that nat 4 though.
Oh.
So no, unfortunately, the armor again like strains, and you can see maybe a few little bits of movement, but not even close to uh, where Yoan was able to get with this thing.
Hmm.
Well,
Can we just like take it down?
Yeah, I mean it's hanging from like a little hook that's embedded on the like the underside of this awning here. So sure.
All right. I'll take it down, and I'll say as as I'm taking it down, I'll say, "Are any of you humans?" Are they all still just squawking and?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
you know, the cage might be enchanted where they can't tell you, can't turn into humans.
Hmm.
I go up to the door and knock.
Okay. Let's see. Well, you would do that if it wasn't an open doorway.
Yeah. I go up to the doorway and knock on the threshold.
Okay. And yeah, as you walk up and do that, you can see a little bit of the inside of this thing. I mean, really, probably most of it, because it's not that big. So inside, you can see that it's the same size inside as it would appear to be outside, 15 feet to a side. And it's packed with old furniture, including a wooden cot, wicker cabinet, slender wardrobe, a wooden table, a stool, a barrel-topped wooden chest reinforced with brass bands, and an iron tub, stained with and seemingly filled with blood. In the middle of the room is a ghastly wooden crib with a small angelic child sitting in it. All the furnishings except the crib are bolted to the floor. Beneath the crib, green light seeps up through cracks between the rotting floorboards.
Fantastic. Okay.
And you don't get a response, by the way.
Okay. Can I go and look at the baby?
Sure.
Is it actually whooping?
Let's see here. So, you walk up and you see this child just kind of sitting there. It doesn't really acknowledge you. It just seems to be sitting there zoned out.
How old?
Probably not more than like a year, if that.
Okay.
But it just sort of sits there, occasionally cooing or giggling at something that you can't see. It doesn't seem to be you. I mean, maybe look at where the baby's gaze has been directed, and you don't see anything there.
Goo, goo, goo.
Okay. Do
Anything besides looking at it?
can I look under the crib at like the green light and try and figure out what that is?
Sure. So, I mean, you can see the light coming up from between the floorboards. So, are you going to try and start pulling up planks here?
Yeah.
All right. Make a strength check. All right, and there is a loud cracking sound as you peel back one of these planks, and sitting there, kind of way down in this sort of well, it would be a crawl space if there was access to it underneath this this part of the trunk that is built into. You see a glowing gem. As you do that, though, you also hear, "Ah, who's there?"
Sounds like Bungdo.
Plot twist.
Do I see where that noise is coming from?
Well, let's see. So you kind of poke your head back up. Make a perception check.
Ah,
No, it seems like a disembodied voice.
I hate disembodied voices.
how far away is the gem?
Probably about 10 feet down.
Is it just like, is there nothing else in there? Like, is it just a tunnel with a gem at the bottom, or?
Yeah, it's like if the floor of this hut had been built over, probably like it's. I'd call it like a floor or sorry, I'm jumbling my words. I would call it like a crawl space. It encompasses kind of the entire size of the hut, just carved down into the trunk of this this dead tree.
Are there like steps anywhere or anything?
No, there are not.
That's inconvenient. Okay. Um,
At that point, you hear a voice say, "I know you're here."
Did I hear that?
Yeah, you probably all hear it.
And I know you're there. That's my response.
I'm gonna get into a more ready to fight stance than on the floor with my head poked down.
All right. As you're getting up, you hear the creaking of the floorboards deeper into the hut, and you can see emerging from perhaps stooped down or attending to something just at the other side of the bathtub. There is a hunched, wrinkled old woman staring you down, and says, "Who are you?"
Oh, sorry. I thought the baby was just left alone. It seemed pretty deserted here. I was worried for its safety.
Ha! Madness. Why would I leave a child alone? She kind of waves her hand, and the baby disappears.
Man, if only all kids were that easy. It's Ron saying that.
So that was just an illusion?
Seems like it.
I was asking her.
She says, well, sort of. Young Strahd there was quite a good companion for quite some time. He was a good little baby. But recently I've been introduced to the next generation, to my new grandson.
Who is that?
Well, would you like to meet him?
Sure.
Okay. She then kind of yells out, seemingly to somewhere behind her, and says, "Oh, my beautiful grandson, you can get out of the bath now." And you see movement beneath the bloody pool of, well, blood, the bloody pool of blood. And rising up from it, you see a
Like, if
pale,
it's Melkar.
well,
Is it Melkar?
it might be.
I come out and I say, what do you want, Grandma?
Hey, Melkar, is it warm in there? No response?
Oh, I must cut out. I said quite warm.
I'm making moves to head over there and jump in with him.
Okay. So you just barge into the hut and start walking across.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'll turn to the old lady and be like, how did you come across your grandson? Your new grandson?
Well, the same way any grandmother comes across her grandson. My beautiful son was, well, he blessed me with one to take care of once again.
Who's your son?
Oh, I'm sure you know him. His name is Strahd.
Is Ron paying attention to this at all?
Slightly.
You had another grandchild before this?
Oh, I have many grandchildren.
Have I met any of them?
I don't know. I don't even know who you are.
Oh, my name's Yoan.
She kind of smiles and sort of like rubs her hands together and says, "And they call me Baba Lysaga." And I suppose I should put that in chat because
Babalay Saga. Fucking Babalay Saga.
Baba lasagna.
Hey, you don't make fun of your own grandma's name.
So why are you bathing him in blood?
It's good for the skin. It's good for longevity. It's how I've stayed so beautiful and youthful even in my old age.
I've heard that before. Glad to know that it works.
At this point, I'll go over to Melkar and I'll message and say, "Is this bitch crazy or are you enjoying this?"
Bit of both.
This whole conversation is in message while they're having their conversation.
Okay.
I'll say, "Well, did you want to be rescued or what's going on?"
I came here of my own accord.
For what? Also, what's with the... We saw a kid...
Boring.
Huh?
What?
I think you like totally cut out there when you were saying something, Brown.
Oh, yeah.
What was the last thing you heard me say?
You came of your own accord, and then he asked why.
Oh, I said exploring.
Oh.
Okay.
So I will go on to tell him about the doll the kid had. And after I get done saying that, I'll say, what do you know about that?
I've not heard of any dolls.
Oh, well, you're kind of famous.
Damn it, Ron.
Were you saying the doll looks like me?
I think so.
Laura's totally dying upstairs.
I know.
And y'all motherfuckers about to die here.
I mean, it's possible. Alright. Well, with that, damn it, Ron, let's take a quick break because I desperately need to piss.
So do I.
Okay.
Well, that's a thing. I mean, I guess. Did you want to continue with dialogue? Melkar?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Am I for a second there? I said you don't want to wait for them.
We can. It's up to you.